Hello and welcome back to another reaction. In this occasion, Nichijou episode 10. Yeah, once again, this is a difficult show to make a recapitulation. There are things that I enjoy a lot in the last episode. The recurring joke or the recurring, I don't know, transition screen that things we think are cool. Yeah, I don't know why that makes me laugh so much, but it's just so much fun, at least to me. We have obviously the same jokes, but not the same jokes, but kind of the theme of the episode in which you don't expect what is the true punchline of the joke. We expect a joke, but we don't know the punchline. And again, that is one of the strongest points for Nichijou. That yes, you might be expecting a joke because come on, it's Nichijou. You expect to laugh a lot in this show, but you don't know exactly how they are going to make you laugh, and that is one of the best portions of the series so far. That yes, even though you expect the joke, you don't know what the joke is about. So yeah, that is the fascinating stuff about Nichijou, and that is something I was trying to find out that how this works, even though I know the joke is coming. But anyway, yeah, I finally kind of could express myself in this regard. That yes, this is great because of this. But enough about that. Enough about the presentation. Let's just cut this and watch the episode, shall we? Okay, I'm back. I just watched a second time the 10 episode of the series, and yeah, as always, it's a lot of fun to watch this anime, and for very specific reason in this case. I think this episode has better paced humor, and I mean they put the good jokes at the beginning, in the middle, and in the end. Not every single joke is a masterpiece, not every single joke connected to me in the same level, but still, they have enough jokes for me to be enjoying this a lot. We have our first one, which is ridiculous. Again, my being completely extra in this case. She's the most calm but the most devious of the three principal students. She's amazingly intelligent, but she's incredibly, I don't want to say sadistic, but I cannot find another word to describe her because she enjoys when the rest are kind of suffering, especially in the game, because yes, it's a simple game of red light, green light. And of course, the rule is that you cannot move until the other person or the one who is in the front can say green light. But of course, my being the amazing person that she is just going to make them suffer. They have to steal, and she's not planning to say green light anytime soon. And with the heat that we can see, thanks to the lighting of the episode, it's awful, man. It's just terrible. Poor girls. It's seriously awful. Anyway, we return to Yuko in another day, I guess, or the same day before. I don't know. There is really not a timeline for this episode or within this episode. We could be speaking the difference between months. We could be speaking the difference between, I don't know, days. So we don't know exactly, or even hours or minutes. Anyway, Yuko is late again, and she has used all her excuse before. So yeah, she no longer can say, oh, because my mom wasn't home, or oh, because this, or no, because of that. So yeah, it is awful for her because it's not the first time that she is going to be late to class. But of course, somebody put a trap for her, and not just one trap. One, of course, the classic joke that you put the eraser on top of the door because it's a sliding door, and of course, in the moment somebody tries to open it, it's going to fall on her. The back door, which is something that I don't know, which is something, of course, that is locked in this case, and you cannot open it. And they have a small door. I don't know why that door is there. In all my years when I was a student, we never had that type of door, the small door. But of course, that has a trap too. Another eraser. In this case, the most probable culprit for this one is Mai. And of course, we saw the figure of Mai in Yuko's imagination. And of course, she was going to go through the windows. But for some odd reason, those are special windows. Why somebody else took that much effort into really not allow to Yuko to enter the room. I don't know why, and probably it was Mai. That's the only one who is really, really in that mood, in the type of trolling move. And of course, within the context of this anime, the freaking stained glass windows are not an oddity, at least not as much of an oddity. Again, according to the context of this anime. And of course, Yuko is kind of desperate. Again, raising the budget of the animation in the most irrelevant parts of the anime. And of course, he said, oh, screw it. If I'm going to enter, I'm going to be late and I'm going to be noticed. Let's go all out. And yes, she entered. Oh, good morning. And in her imagination, everything turned out well because everybody is laughing. Even the teacher said, oh, yes, doesn't matter. Oh, just Rescallion. So yeah, it's all fun and games, all cute and all that. But of course, at the end, there was nobody in the classroom because the first class was supposed to happen in another room. And all her efforts were in vain. She just humiliated for herself or by herself. So yeah, poor Yuko in that case. We have our shorts, very short animation in which I don't know why Mai decided to eat a bubble. And of course the invincible alien, which was not of course that invincible when a baseball ball hit her. Yeah, that was my favorite joke of the entire episode. Poor Yuko suffered, but it was so much fun. And in case you haven't been hit with one of those, I don't know if that was a softball or a really baseball ball, but a real baseball ball is really hard and it's really painful when that thing hits you. It hit me in the back when I was a child. Like I was 10 years old, I think, and yeah, it hit me in the back, and it's very, very painful. I cannot imagine on the head. I will be unconscious by that. But of course, this is an anime and not much happens here. Then we have another short story. Of course, Nano and the professor are playing. Oh god. Trumpet. I don't know why I forgot the name of that instrument. I don't know what happened to me. Anyway, yeah, they were playing, of course, terribly. Of course, I come to say, shut up, come on, you're terrible. And being the professor, say, oh yes, you want to listen. That silence, you're playing terrible, translate to the professor, I want to listen more of that noise you're making because it's great. That's how the professor interprets that. But once we hear the professor wasn't making a lot of noise. She wasn't even able to play that instrument. Of course, the culprit was in this case Nano. She is the one who plays awful that instrument. I don't know, because she's a robot and her lips are not as soft, or I don't know. Perhaps it's just terrible. We have a kind of long joke of the flowing noodles, which is literally that. It's just a bunch of noodles on a slide, and you have to cut them before they reach the ground. And it's completely crazy, because who the hell does that? For starters, I don't know what the hell is a flowing noodle. I don't know. Perhaps it's a type of dish in Japan. I am not aware of that. But this is the extreme of the ridiculousness. And it's just not just noodles. Another, a baseball is dropped by, and of course you are using chopsticks, because yes, they are recycling, and of course then raw noodles without cooking, just there. It's completely ridiculous. The case is completely ridiculous, and all of this was because apparently the woman that was in charge of this business missed her husband, and of course that was kind of a way to attract his husband, because he was looking for the perfect flow noodle. And of course this was kind of, oh, you're back, and all the emotional moment, while in the background this Riven girl is just completely confused, which was my reaction for the entire sketch. I was that girl with the freaking bow. Complete confusion. And of course in the end, this is not a spectacle. Can you just make like a flowing noodle and flew away? The joke is funny because the owner of the shop, let's say shop, is very rude. Is not a very nice lady, let's say. But of course, the reason behind that is because she missed her husband. So that's why she's like that, and she's a lot happier once her husband, or what I assume is her husband, arrived. It's utterly ridiculous, but I love it. I love this complete confusion that I was feeling in that moment. Oh man, this is amazing, amazing, amazing. Then we have another short with the NASA, with a really, it's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense in this case. Then of course we have our mature professor. Just because she put a ponytail, she's mature now apparently. And of course she's trying to do mature stuff. Stuff that just a kid will think is mature. That yes, picking up the garbage on the ground, while of course Nano was reading, that she didn't care. Oh, she just grabbed it and tried to I don't know, pick everything up. And of course, when she thought that Sakamoto was cold or was going to catch a cold, she just put a magazine on top of him. And, yeah, utterly ridiculous stuff in this case. And Sakamoto wasn't very happy with that fact. Then she tried to do the laundry. Of course, she's terrible. Every single bit of the job was done by Nano, and of course, she just turned a knob to turn off the dryer. The clothes were not even washed when she tried to turn on the dryer. Of course, she didn't know. We didn't notice. I noticed until the dryer was open. Yeah, it's again behaving like a kid believes is the level of maturity, because obviously she is a kid, a genius kid, but a kid nonetheless. And then of course we have the cooking disaster, because yes, a kid should not be allowed to be this close to a stove without adult supervision. But she doesn't care, and she's trying to pull. Yes, it was a disaster, especially for Sakamoto, because a very hot egg was on his head, and he's suffering, and the professor again don't care, and she tries to cook, but of course he's terrible at this, and in the end she ends up cleaning Sakamoto, because yeah, she's a responsible adult, or mature person in this case, sorry. But unfortunately all of these came down when Sakamoto said, oh, did you know that the mature people do not eat snacks? And bam, that's it. I don't want to be mature. She got rid of the ponytail. Oh, it was a joke. It was me all the time. And I don't know why Sakamoto called her liar in the end, but of course very impactful for our professor. Then of course we have the fishing, another short one, which she was just grabbing random stuff from the water, from the river, and in the end we have I think it's the representation of a giant peach. I don't know what the hell does it mean, but it doesn't matter. The chick thinks in this case, and of course it's just my thinking that yes, people who eat sushi with their bare hands are cool, or chic at least. We have of course the discussion of homework with Yuko, because she obviously doesn't want to do homework. But I love the escalation in this conversation with herself. At first she doesn't want to do her homework, and therefore she doesn't want to study, because she will have to study for the entrance exam for college, and of course she doesn't want to go to college because it's more study. But of course she will have to get a job, but jobs are hard to get, and if you study more, you will have to have better chance to get a job, which is unfortunately not true in this new modern world. It's not that easy. We are too much people, and then of course we return to the place. She doesn't want to study, and she starts to think, what did she want to do when she was an adult, and she wants to be a lizard. Of course, this is in the mind of, 6-7-year-old Yuko. Of course, now she doesn't want to be a lizard, but she starts to think, oh, maybe I will become a national treasure if I can transform into a lizard. But how much does a national treasure gets paid? And yes, all the ridiculousness of the argument, oh, I need to study. In the end, she needs to study, and she starts to think hard, trying to find a solution, because she doesn't want to study. Of course, she starts to bang on the floor and on the walls, and the mom is not that happy with that. She just managed to do a freaking airplane on her and just throw her away. That is the end of the sketch. All that I described to you is in a lot of stuff. A lot of thoughts went into it, and we even saw an origami lizard in that moment. It is again an absurd joke, and of course this is kind of following, or is kind of being followed in the extra scene. Of course, we saw that she doesn't want to study, and yes, again, that is the end of the scene, with, of course, a recapitulation for the next episode. That is always done by an inanimated object. Yeah, that is kind of hard to say when you try to say it way too fast. Anyway, yeah, once again, the jokes work so well in this anime, and this is, in my opinion, one of the best episodes of the anime. It is extremely funny. I was laughing so much in this one, and very constantly. Yes, I was confused in several parts, but that is expected from this anime. This is expected to be confused in a certain point. And we're kind of seeing more themes in the episodes that we have seen in the opening. We have seen a lot more of those things. So yeah, kind of amazingly, the more you watch, the more sense the opening starts to make for you. It is hilarious, and I love this anime. Once again, anybody who recommend this to me and kind of force me in a very good way to watch and to look for this anime, thank you so much. Really, seriously, it's amazing. But anyway, yeah, there is not much to say about this episode, it's only that it was hilarious. So yeah, the only thing I have to say, guys, is thank you for your attention, and well, see you on the next one. Bye. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that video, and yes, thank you so much for your attention, guys. And as always, if you want to leave a comment, that will help me a lot more. If you want to give me a like, that will help me even more to get on the top of the recommendation for YouTube. And if you want to share this video, that will help me even more. So yeah, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much, guys, for your attention. I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.